Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today, as you can see from right here, we're going to talk about striking while the iron is hot. Um, I'm not actually very interested in this phrase. I know it probably comes from blacksmithing, and it probably has a lot. I wanted to basically talk about when you are doing good, when things are falling into place, you're feeling productive, you're feeling like your personal relationships are going well. When all of that stuff is going well, how do you best appreciate that feeling, and how do you best utilize when you're feeling like that, when life is going good, when everything's kind of clicking into place? How do you best utilize it in order to really get the most out of it? And so maybe striking while the iron's hot isn't the best title, and it doesn't exactly explain what I want to talk about. It's what I'm going to use. So that's essentially what I'm interested in. And basically, the reason I want to talk about it is because I feel like currently, like knock on wood, everything is going pretty well. I'm really happy with my progress at the gym. I'm happy with sort of my health in general, how I'm eating. I'm happy with my personal relationships with my family and my friends. I really like this time of year. I like the autumn, the fall time. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. And there are very few things in my life that I consider problems or worries at this point. I'm a big worrier. I'm a big overthinker. So typically I have two or three things at the back of my brain that I'm like, oh gosh, I really need to do this, or I really should do this, or what if this happens? And currently, I don't feel like I have those things, which is really nice. As an overthinker, it's really nice not to be overthinking. I've been trying to meditate lots and just feel good and happy. I keep telling myself I'm happy because I'm happy, not because of external situations or, because good things happen. I'm happy to be alive, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk to you guys. And so I realize that this is not a permanent state, that currently I'm at the high of the what is it, the troughs and the peaks, the waves. I'm at the high point, everything is good. I feel happy. I feel like I'm achieving stuff. And I realize that eventually stuff's gonna come down. What goes up must come down. It's a law somewhere. And I want to figure out how to best utilize this good momentum, this good feeling. And I'm trying to, use this time to read and to enjoy being healthy, to really appreciate being with my friends and family. I'm doing all of these things because I want to, but also because I know that we live in an ever-changing paradigm. So things are always going to flip around and bite me in the butt, essentially. And I know this is going to happen. I'm expecting it. It would be very unusual and unnerving if everything just stayed great for the rest of my life. So I'm pretty sure it's not gonna do that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go back to kind of, the typical flow. And I want to be very appreciative of how I'm feeling right now. I realize that it's very temporal. It's not a state of permanence. But I also just want to truly appreciate it in the best way I possibly can, which is maybe why I'm making this video, as a way of being able to remind myself, like, oh, hey, you remember when everything was going good? Well, keep working and maybe one day it'll be good again. Um, yeah, so I just thought, we should talk about this because I think we talk an awful lot about, when you're at this point when it's like, oh, well, things are getting better, things are improving. And we talk a lot about this where we're going down and, oh gosh, what's going to happen? How do I prevent this from being a total disaster? But we don't often talk about this. I feel like on social media, everybody's trying to project their best self and their, most amazing self. And look at me here sipping tea in Milan or whatever. It's weird my brain went to Milan, but anyway, people project that, but very rarely I feel like people are actually at that point where they're feeling really good. And so, we have the ascent where things are getting better. We have the peak, and then where things are great and you're feeling really good. You have the decline where it's like, oh gosh, this is going to be difficult. You have the sort of like real decline where you're like, yep, this has been bad for a while. And then you have like the rock bottom where you're just like, yikes. And then you have the ascent again, the climb. Um, yeah. And so it's like, how do you best appreciate each of those things for what they are? And I don't know. I don't know how exactly. Maybe you just really love it. Like I always do this thing when I'm feeling sick. I always think of, man, when was the last time I felt really healthy? And I think about it, and I'm like, why aren't I more appreciative when I'm healthy? You know, like when I've got a migraine and I'm lying in bed and just writhing in pain, I often think about like, man, I do not take being healthy. Uh, I don't appreciate it enough. And so, like, while I'm totally healthy right now, or I feel pretty healthy, you know, my ankle's a bit sore and my back is, you know, a bit stiff, but whatever. For the most part, I'm totally healthy. Why can't I fully appreciate and maybe just take a moment and go, thank you, body, for making me feel this good? And maybe that's what you have to do is you just have to stop and live in the present and appreciate where you are in the world. Um, so maybe that's it. Maybe you just have to do something along those lines. But it's curious, isn't it, right? Because like we don't often do that. We often just take it for granted. Um, I remember years ago, my grandparents had taken me to dinner with some of their other friends, and all of these people I think now have passed on. All the people I went to dinner with like 10 years ago have passed on now. But I remember sitting in the back of the car and my grandparents were talking to each other just about like the most monotonous things. And I remember thinking like, Jax, like you really have to appreciate this because one day this will all be gone. And today that is all gone. And so it's just me and my memories. And, you know, the memory of me sitting in the back of that car thinking about how special it was to be with my grandparents and, you know, I've had a really fun night with them and their friends. And they were talking all about like what dating was like in the 50s and stuff like that, you know, like a long time ago, right? Um, and so I remember just like really sitting and just really being appreciative of it and taking that moment to just, man, this is good. I like this. And that actually reminds me of another moment when I had this pet dog for years. She was with me from the time I was born until I was 14 years old. And I remember being 12 or 13 and she was getting like pretty old. And I remember going out and taking some pictures with her, me and her, basically these like selfies on this old um, disposable camera. And I remember just like putting the camera down and just petting her and just thinking like she won't be here very long, you know, much longer, you know. And I remember just sort of, you know, like petting her and just like talking to her and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And just really appreciating that like I got to spend this much time with her and that she was, you know, a part of my family and she still is a part of my family. It doesn't change just because she's gone. But I do remember like taking that moment of just like real appreciation for what I had when I had it. Um, and hopefully like I will always remember those moments and those little pearls of memories that are really, really sweet. And maybe that's how we do that. Maybe that's how we strike while the iron is hot and we appreciate the moments we have. Um, I think it's interesting, like we are very temporal beings. We exist and then we don't exist. And so you really have to just stop every now and then and take a full stock of exactly what you have and the good that it is, you know, like as I'm filming this, I will never be this young and stupid and, you know, I will never be this again, you know, as soon as the button clicks off, that's it. Like this moment in time has been frozen. And you know, people could look at it or I could go back and look at it like 20 years from now and I'll be a totally different person. But at least I'll be able to sort of remember the good times and remember how I felt in this moment when I feel like everything is just going well. And I don't mean to say like everything is perfect, you know, my life is totally like perfectly in place. My relation, like, no, like I'm still struggling and I'm still working hard on my goals and I still have things I'd like to achieve. But I do feel at peace. Like I feel genuinely happy for who I am, for what I'm doing, for the people I have in my life. Um, could a giant sack of money like just drop on my front lawn and make my life even better? Yeah, yeah, that could happen too. But at this point, I am truly at peace and happy with where I am. And I think by like making a video like this, or even just, quietly thinking about a moment that you're experiencing and allowing yourself to just feel happy and just to really like take a take a mental picture in your mind, like just let it click, and um never forgetting moments like that. I think that's really special, and maybe that's why people take lots of photos nowadays, is we're trying to save these moments and preserve them for a rainy day when you might need to think about, the last time you were truly happy. So yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm working as hard as I can. Trying to fulfill goals, trying to make dreams come true. But also just happy to be where I am, doing what I'm doing. Being able to talk to you guys every day is so much fun. For the people that listen, like thank you so much. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Yeah, and I hope as you're watching this video, you're able to take a moment today to just really live in the present and feel whatever you're supposed to be feeling, whether it's like a lot of happiness, ridiculousness. If you watch like a funny video, I watched a video yesterday and I just keeled over on the floor laughing so hard. It was the dumbest video ever, but it was this guy making some food, but he was being ridiculous about it. And I just like keeled over laughing, and I was home alone and I just thought like how ridiculous is it that this video can make me do this? But yeah, it's all about just being able to take stock and just enjoy the moments that you're supposed to enjoy. So I will let you guys get to your day. I hope it is a beautiful one. I hope you're able to really connect with the people that you want to connect with and be there for yourself and everybody else. And like always, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.